canal means everything to me. This is where I run 4 days a week. I've trained for 7 marathons on this canal, and I keep a daily log of my running since I started 30 years ago. And I've logged 14,000 miles running on this canal.
What I like is that it goes on forever, and there are so many different paths you can take on the canal, and we have yet to discover all of them.
The Highline Canal is a very special place that evokes personal and affectionate feelings for many that use this urban trail for fun, recreation, or simply enjoying the outdoors and the beautiful landscapes. With more than 500,000 people who use the canal trail every year, it has become a major recreational amenity, prompting an aggressive community initiative to preserve and protect it.
Well, the Highline Canal Conservancy was formed to try to harness the public commitment to this incredible resource that we have traveling the 71 miles throughout the region. And as such, our mission is to preserve, protect, and enhance the canal for all people along all 71 miles. Well, we're interested in the canal because of the incredible resource it is, from both an environmental and a recreational quality of life enhancement. Really has a tremendous opportunity to improve the quality of life as the region grows. And we knew that it was at a time of transition and needed protection.
I moved into my home on Albion Way down here, not far from the fire station, in 1972. And shortly after moving in, I found the canal, and I've been walking this thing ever since.
For more than a century, the Highline Canal has served many purposes. A water delivery system for farming, a unique ecosystem for a variety of plants and wildlife, and a recreational asset for walkers, joggers, and equestrians. So what does the future hold for the Highline Canal? The Highline Canal Conservancy says a plan is underway to ensure the 71-mile Highline Canal is protected and unimpaired for future generations.
Times have really changed, and the canal is no longer serving the functions for which it was originally intended. It's primarily, as you can see today, being used as a recreational greenway where people just come out here to get a few moments of solitude, a slice of nature, just a really wonderful experience. And so it was time in the canal's life to really embrace this new life for the canal as a regional greenway, and that prompted a structured planning process and our community of citizens coming together to work on this planning and protection for the canal.
In the summer of 2016, with a consulting group, the Conservancy led an extensive and broad outreach initiative which reached over 3,500 people. This initiative had public forums and public open houses. We had 12 of those across the region. We also had an online survey, which we had over 500 participants. We engaged leaders in the field in strategic input sessions. And we also participated at over 70 community events to reach people who generally wouldn't come out to a normal planning process.
You know, I just like the vistas of the trees, especially this time of year. I like monitoring whether or not there's water in the canal or not in the canal. And a lot of times there is no water in the canal. I have a friend that lives maybe 2 miles west of here, right on the canal, and he has a number of cottonwood trees that he's always concerned about and wondering about how much water is in the canal.
Planning is key to preserve our past for a better future. When the world is silent, all it takes is one voice to be powerful. In this case, thousands of passionate people have come together to help define a common vision for the Highline Canal.
The public outreach was such an interesting process, and to no surprise to anyone, the main thing that the public spoke to about the Highline Canal is that they want it protected as a natural place. And so that was one of the main outcomes, was to keep the canal natural. the plantings, the long-term future tree plantings, all things that you'd see naturally in this type of an environment. And to try to continue to increase the habitat, the wildlife habitat. We might see certain situations where when cottonwood trees come down, parts of the remains stay there, so it's more habitat for the wildlife, because people just love going along the canal and seeing that wildlife. Another one of the outcomes was to celebrate the connected nature of the canal and to try to continue to improve the underpasses and all the at-grade crossings so that people can travel along the canal in a connected and continuous manner. The third thing that was an outcome that the public spoke to was to keep the canal varied. They really appreciated the fact that the canal goes through such different communities. We're not trying to make it a homogeneous experience and that it should be slightly different. Green Valley Ranch is a different community than Aurora and is a different community than the Denver section, all the way down here to Greenwood Village and all the way out to Waterton Canyon. Really try to excite people about those different experiences as you go along the canal. Two other outcomes that came out of the public outreach. One was the public wanted the canal managed in a more careful and thoughtful way as a greenway. It's always been cared for by Denver Water as an irrigation channel, but now in this time of transition, we need to think about how we can best manage a greenway. Another topic that came up from the public that we see as an outcome from the public outreach process is trying to figure out if the use of stormwater in the Highline Canal is going to be able to be a reality. And so we're trying out some pilot projects in certain areas along the Highline Canal to direct a little more stormwater in there, manage that stormwater so it doesn't flood anyone, but have the water would be cleaned, the stormwater would be cleaned in the Highline, and at the same time that water would allow for additional moisture for these cottonwoods that we love so much, and it might extend their life a little longer. So that was a really exciting outcome. The last outcome has to do with enhancements. So the public spoke to different types of enhancements in different areas that they imagined for the canal. Such things as maybe some additional benches, some additional bathrooms in certain areas, definitely signage. So there's a lot more planning to do. And we as a Conservancy are working with all the governmental jurisdictions, including Greenwood Village, to design the next steps to come up with that list of guidelines for the future of the canal and how to integrate stormwater in and some of these outcomes that we're hoping to move forward on. We want to protect the canal as the jewel that it is for this community, and doing that means better management, long-term management of it as a recreational resource, not as solely an irrigation channel.
My wife and I have been using the Highline Canal probably for a good 20 years now, and it means a lot to us. It's just a great place to ride, great place to walk, take the dog for a walk, so it's just nice scenery. I definitely think that they need to obviously maintain the trails and all the beauty that surrounds this portion of the trail as well. So in terms of improvements, I think just really taking care of the property around here.
A major endeavor like planning the future of the Highline Canal cannot be accomplished overnight. With its strengthened partnerships of citizens, 11 jurisdictions, and Denver Water, the Conservancy has established its next steps to preserve and protect this regional gem.
Citizens should be concerned about the future of the canal because it is at a time of transition, and so their voice and their commitment to the canal and articulating that is really important right now. We need to speak to Denver Water and the local governmental jurisdictions and continue to show them how much we care about the canal so that we will ensure its protections for the long-term future.
The Conservancy is going to be really busy in 2017, both with on-the-ground projects on the canal and future planning efforts. We're going to be pursuing a closer look at the canal using the public input and the vision and guiding principles that were developed. There are also some really exciting on-the-ground things that are happening. Through work with our partners, we are pursuing enhancements to intersections. At Colorado and Hampton, there are going to be 2 underpasses, which are going to connect Cherry Hills Village and the City and County of Denver. Down in this area, there is potential for a new trailhead at the Fay property, which was recently acquired by the City of Greenwood Village. And then there are a number of just enhancements to the canal corridor as well. We have new bridges going in that are being replaced. We also just recently completed a tree inventory of the entire canal corridor, and this was a joint effort with our partners on the Highline Canal Working Group. From this effort, we found that there are 23,677 trees in the canal corridor. And each of these trees has been geolocated, so we have them on a map and we understand their health condition. So we'll be digesting this data and coming up with a comprehensive plan to address the tree canopy.
We'll see some additional tree trimming of the very dangerous branches that reach over the canal that are dead. So we're going to see those going away and a real structured sort of plan for how to remove those branches. Some of the trees might need to go down if they are at the end of their life and very unsafe. In addition, we'll be looking at some additional tree planting, so we might even see some of that in the next year. We're trying to study what types of trees would be best that will survive in a more drought type of environment that we're seeing along the canal. So it's a really important study for us to care for the canal and its entire corridor as almost a forest. So caring for it as a park and a forest system. The best way to stay involved in what's going on the canal is to go to our website, which is www.highlinecanal.org. And on there we'll have updates of the planning process, any changes to the trees, any bridge enhancements, lots of notifications on there. You can sign up to volunteer on that website. You can become a member. We're developing a slogan that'll encourage people to be members, and we have memberships from anywhere from $5 for children up to $2,500 a year. So that's a really fun way for people to say, this is my canal, I want to care for its future. I want to become a member of the Highline Canal Conservancy. But in addition, we have walking programs. We're going to be looking for volunteers to do some surveys on the canal of the public and other fun ways to really get involved and help the Conservancy in our efforts on behalf of this tremendous resource that we have here.
If the quality degraded or if it went away, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be as enjoyable riding on a paved, like the Platte, the one that goes along the Platte Rivers. It's a nice bike trail, but it's paved and it's real crowded. So if this were to go away, it would be a terrible thing for me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of people to feel that way.